YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. What's going on? It's your boy King, man. Of course, we got my co-host Deuce.
What's going
Deuce, what's
on,
good,
y'all?
man?
What's going on, everybody? How you feeling, bro?
Feeling good, man. Obviously, we got some great things to talk about when it comes to Pistons basketball, man. Caught us off guard yesterday. Um, sorry for the wait. I know some of you guys were in here since 8:30, but
Appreciate y'all.
had to make sure we were set and had everything ready to go for y'all. So, with that said, Detroit Pistons relieve Monty Williams of his duties. Big move. Got to respect Tom Gores for that, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's not afraid to spend some money. That's been obvious. So
Yeah,
that's what you want in an owner, right? May not be the biggest basketball guy, but for him to be able to spend that money, it helps you when you're trying to flip the table with this franchise. So,
yeah.
Monty's gone. Now we have to move on with the coaching search. JJ Redick first off the board. Deuce, who do you have in mind?
So I have a couple of mine. Before we get there, I wanted to backtrack about something you just said, talking about Tom Gores, right? And like you said, he ate that contract, right? And a lot of people were saying, well, it's only however $78 million. He's a billionaire. Who cares? It's not a lot of money for him, or whatever. Saying it's a tax write off. Who cares? Okay, even if that's the case, money aside, he could have let his pride keep him from making this move and just trying to see it through. We all know he's the reason that Monty Williams was here. So by him eating that contract after one season, that's his way of saying, I messed up, y'all. My bad. So for that, I give him credit. Just based on that, him just not worried about his ego or whatever and just trying to do what's right for this basketball team, I give him credit for that. 100%. Can't take that away from him. So yeah, we talked about it earlier. There's been some news we found out today that JJ Redick is, as many thought, headed to Los Angeles to coach the Lakers. And it came out today that the Lakers were not considering Monty Williams. I know a lot of people, including myself, thought that he may be looking ahead that way. If JJ Redick fell through, if Hurley didn't work out. But it looks like they had their eyes on JJ the whole time. Hence the podcast and everything else that was going on with him and LeBron. So there are a few candidates out there now that we are going to get to. A few guys, and I posted about this earlier on Instagram, but we're going to go over a few, or go over a few of these guys. And let's go ahead and take a look at this here, man. So the Detroit Pistons have permission to interview J.B. Bickerstaff, Micah Nori, and Sean Sweeney for head coaching vacancy. So I was actually surprised to see those three names. Shout out to Woj, by the way, for that report. I was surprised to see those names, but I was actually pretty happy to see those names. So did you want me to go first, or you want to go first as far as who you feeling?
Um, I guess I can let you go first, man, because my list is long. I have a
Mine
long.
is too. Okay, so we're
Yeah,
gonna be here a while. So
yeah.
y'all sit back. We apologize for making y'all wait, but we're gonna have a good show. So look, check it out. So of these three, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I like Sean Sweeney and Micah Nori. Those are the two that I like. I like Sean Sweeney a lot. He's been an assistant for I think 10 years now.
Mhm.
He's been with the Nets. He's been with the Pistons. Before that, I think he was with the Bucks for a few years. The Nets, Bucks, Pistons. He was with us from 2018 to 2021, and now he's with Dallas. So he has plenty of experience as an assistant, right? Proven assistant, been respected around the league. And according to James Edwards, shout out to James, players love him. Let's take a look at a few things here. So James tweeted this today. For those unfamiliar with Sean Sweeney, I wrote this profile a few years ago. Giannis told me Sweeney is who helped turn him into a killer. Blake and Andre picked his brain religiously. I thought that was pretty cool because it's not just X's and O's. When he said help turn him to a killer, that means mentally
Yeah,
he helped
mentality.
develop that dog in him, right, that we always talk about, that always embodies Detroit. So that was interesting. The next thing I want to pull up from James Edwards that he tweeted today was from our very own Isaiah Stewart. And he said, also, Isaiah Stewart sat with Sweeney on every plane ride, watching film and taking notes. So he obviously has a lot to offer. If you've got guys, sitting next to coaches on flights, you know what I mean? And it's not as if Stu is the only player in this team who is a dog, or not a dog, but who's a gym rat, who's looking to learn more, who's a hoop head. That's a lot of our guys in the squad. So it's not like Stu was just, something out of the ordinary. Sweeney is somebody who really has a lot of knowledge and can motivate guys to play well. So I really like him for sure. And then, just the fact that there's connective tissue, right, and familiarity with the Pistons, to me, that's a huge plus. So I'll wait to talk about Micah Nori if you want to hit on Sean Sweeney first.
Sean Sweeney is fine, man. Me personally, I'm looking to go in a different direction.
Okay.
With someone like Sweeney, but for what it's worth, I mean, I wouldn't be upset with that. Obviously, if you got players like that vouching for you, then hey, right. I'm all for it. Sweeney's a younger guy himself. Like I said, we need someone around that's going to instill some type of identity and personality into our team. Mm-hmm. So if Sweeney can provide that, that's fine.
Yeah.
I have no issues with that.
Okay. I'm with you on that. I will say though, bro, I know I led with Sean Sweeney, and I know he's got the history here with the players and everything like that, and the sound bites and the quotes from Giannis and all that. But I must tell you, King, I am a Micah Nori guy. He showed me a lot. And it's not a hot name here, but he showed me a lot last year. So I'm just kind of get into why. He is the assistant coach for the T-Wolves, right? Mm-hmm. And he was basically the acting coach for much of the playoffs. When Chris Finchie had that leg injury, I forgot who ran into him, but I think he nearly broke his leg. He had a bad leg injury in the playoffs. And Micah Nori came and filled right in, man. Didn't miss a beat. And he showed that he's capable of leading the team. He was on the sideline, when the Wolves actually beat the then defending champion Denver Nuggets. And here's what I really like, bro. This really is what I learned about him during the playoffs. He does not let guys quit. Yeah. He does not let guys pack it in. If you guys remember, you probably all remember, we all watched it together, the playoffs. In Game 7, the Wolves were down by 20 points. And he did not allow them to give up, nor did he panic, right? They won that game after being down 20 on the road to the defending champions. Mm-hmm. That speaks a lot. That speaks volumes for me, because that's a mindset that your coach has to have and instill in their players. They easily could have packed it in, bro. It could have been 1-2-3 Cancun. They could have been satisfied with their great season and gotten blown off the court. But the fact that they continue to play through it, bro, it shows a great deal of belief, especially from a young team. And it starts with that coach. And so the T-Wolves roster and style of play, as we've talked about before, is what I want here in Detroit. It all starts with defense for the T-Wolves. And what intrigues me the most is our potential front court. Mm-hmm. Right? With the right coaching and development, I really believe, bro, that Jalen Duren at his peak could be our Rudy Gobert. Less defense, much more offense. I want to make that clear, right? But I think he can be that anchor in the paint. That's number one. And then secondly, I know a lot of you guys are not sold on Isaiah Stewart being a long-term four. And maybe he's not. But I've mentioned this before, bro. I believe Stu could be our version of Naz Reid. Sixth man of the year, right? He may not be every bit of Naz Reid. I understand Naz Reid is a very unique type of player. But with with our new assistant coach, shooting wizard Fred Benson, not part of our coaching staff, I want to see what he can bring out of Stu as far as shooting that ball in the mid-range along with the three ball, like you always talk about. Just getting him better quality shots, not always just sitting in that corner all the time, being real predictable, right? And Stu has shown at times that he can't put the ball on the floor. He's shown that, right? We saw him cross up Joel Embiid a couple of years ago and go for a tomahawk dunk. So he has the ability. I just want to see what he can bring out of Stu, right? And possibly unlock with him offensively. And I think he's going to help him a lot. And I think he'd be the perfect coach for what the Pistons have embodied, right? Since whenever we win, it's been based off of defense. Every regime that's been successful has been because of our defense. Mm-hmm. So I like all of these three. Probably Bickerstaff the least. Sweeney probably second, but I think Micah Nori is my top pick for sure.
Hey man, I can definitely get with that. I like I said, my list is extremely long. Um, it's certain things that I just want, you know what I'm
Okay.
saying? And one of those main things is identity and a defensive attitude. So looking at this list, shout out to Rod Beer for putting this out on Twitter earlier. Long list, man. Long list of guys. Of course, JJ Redick was at the top, but we
Yeah.
all know he's with the LA Lakers now. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just looking up and down this list. Obviously, names like Sam Cassell,
Yeah, I see that a lot in the chat too.
Chris Quinn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, the reason why I love those type of names is simply because of who they were as players. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? These guys had an identity to be pests out there on the court. You know, so that's the type of identity I want my team to be defensively. I want us to be in them passing lanes, man, getting our hands on the
Mm-hmm.
basketball, and just be a headache for teams
Right.
because that defense creates offense. And at the same time, when we go out and we add to this team and get some offensive guys, man, that'll help us win a lot of basketball games. So
Yeah.
those identities alone are huge. Then you got the fantasy type of selections
Right.
like a Chauncey Billups or
Yeah. Yeah.
um yeah, but so this list goes as long as to Rick Pitino and Mike Krzyzewski. That's
Sheesh, come
wild,
on,
bro.
man. Sheesh, that's
Like
really
what? Like what?
that's only a 50-1? That's crazy. That's
um,
crazy.
but the Pistons literally got their cream. I mean, cream of the crop. You know what I'm saying? They can pick anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm just leaving it to Langdon and the front office to bring the right guys in here. That's going to give this team an identity and a calling card, man. Um,
Yeah.
you know, when you're looking at Bickerstaff, when you're looking at who you mentioned, Sweeney and Frank Vogel, there's so many tough, hard-nosed coaches, man. And I love the fact that we're looking for one right now at this time.
Right.
Even Mark Jackson is on the list. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's a great position for the Pistons to be in, man. We just got to make the right choice and get a guy in here that's serious about that business
Exactly.
and turn this thing around.
100%. 100%. I did see a lot of Sam Cassell in the chat, and I'm not mad at that at all. I did see what Gilbert Arena said, and he made some good points. You know, we have a young team, and we need somebody who is able to kind of push them on the court. You know, somebody who can still play, maybe not beat them, but be able to be on that court, not just on the sideline. Somebody who can shoot the ball, who can challenge them. A coach that has some elements of basketball that even now they're still better than some players at, like shooting. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing I think will go a long way as far as just having the ear of this young team. We saw last year when Cade was upset and he was trying to talk to Monty Williams and he was yelling at him in frustration, it appeared. And Monty just looking at him like, and after that, it looked like Cade walked away like he don't even care. That's what it looked like to me. If you go back and watch it, Cade is saying something, Monty looks back at him, and Cade's just like, and walks away like, this dude don't even care. Like, he's just stone facing me right now. So I have heard too that he did lose in large part a lot of that locker room. So it needs to be somebody, and Sam Cassell is not gonna like he demands respect. And he's seen it all, man. This is the same guy that's won 2 championships back to back with Akeem Olajuwon. You know what I'm saying? He's been around the block a few times. So somebody like that can demand respect and demand effort, right? 100%.
Yeah.
He's definitely that guy. Definitely that guy. I would love to have him here too. That's a good pick.
Yeah, man. Like, you know, we said, I mean, some podcasts back, we mentioned we want a coach in here that can demand a room, you know, walk in there and say, hey, listen, I've done this, I've done that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want it to be as far as, you know, too much of a cocky attitude like per se Matt Patricia with the Detroit Lions. You know what I'm saying? That was a disaster. But I want someone that's going to come in here and demand respect at the same time, especially when you got these young guys like you mentioned. That you must have that. And bringing in a guy like Monty at the time we did, knowing that he didn't really want to be here in the first place, was a terrible decision. So now you have an opportunity to make that right. So I need the Pistons front office to do their job, man, and bring the right guy in here.
Yeah, I'm with you, bro.
Yeah.
I saw this too. I'm not mad at Chris Quinn either, because we know how Miami gets down.
Yeah.
They're always about defense first.
Right.
You know, so and anybody who's a disciple of Eric Spoelstra, if they're speaking glowingly of that person, I'm with it. I'm with it for sure. So we got some options, man. I just hope that they take their time with it. I'm pretty sure they will. I don't think it's imperative to have a coach by the draft. It's a little different than football for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm not concerned about the timing of it. I would just like now that we have Trajan in place, the person who's going to be making those decisions is what I was concerned about for the draft. So now that he's here in the place, just make the right choice. That's all I ask.
I will say this: if the Pistons decide to go and get a coach and make sure that happens before the draft, then that tells you the coach's role and when it comes to picking the talent on the team, right?
True.
You know, certain type of players that this coach may want to, go after in this draft.
Right.
And like I said, it's all identity based. So,
exactly.
That's just something to keep an eye on. But of course, JJ Redick went to the Lakers today, and this is your team. So I'm going to pass this to the right and let you deal with this.
So look, man, as far as exits, I have mixed feelings about this, actually. I do think it can work, but I think early on it could be a struggle. And here's why. It's got nothing to do with X's and O's. I think he's one of the smartest basketball minds. I think sometimes, though, that's what turns people off. You know what I mean? Is that not that he walks around as if he is smarter than everybody in the room, but he kind of gives off that arrogance at times. You know what I mean? Like, I know more than you. And you can't do that with any team, especially on a team with LeBron James on it, though, in my opinion. You know what I mean? You just – and, of course, I think the biggest thing for him is that he's going to have the support of LeBron. Obviously. I think that's going to be clear, at least early on, because he's the one that LeBron wants. So as long as they're lockstep, I think it'll be okay, but I think JJ is going to have to adjust the way he deals with players. I know he understands, the mindset of players because he's not that far removed from playing, right? But now that he's sitting in a different seat, hopefully he's able to still demand the respect while not being disrespectful or at least rubbing guys the wrong way. So I think that chemistry is going to take more time than the actual on-court chemistry with the players and as far as integrating their system. I think as far as them just respecting him, and as far as him just making sure that he ingratiates himself the right way, I think that's going to be the biggest key for them. Other than that, basketball-wise, I'm not worried about JJ Redick. Not at all.
We'll see what Coach LeBron James decides to do.
I was waiting for that.
Like I said, whoever you bring in there, it really don't even matter to me. I mean, you can come in, you can put a system in, you got to put an offense in, fine, or whatever. We all know who's running that offense, and it's LeBron Aloysius James. So that's who's running it. Yeah, I just made a name. So, at the end of the day, it's who can the Lakers add to that roster. That's what it is. It's who can they add to that roster to help those guys out. With this type of class that we have, with the trade capital, with the assets that they don't have,
right? I
just think they're stuck at a standstill right now. And I don't see them having the success that they would all hope for, especially when you have teams arising in the West like the Minnesota Timberwolves. Yeah. So it's a tough situation to be in for LeBron. At the end of his career, like I said, he is time is ticking. You know what I'm saying? Out of nowhere, anything can happen, right?
It's tough. Yeah,
it's tough, man. Any time that body can say, okay, this is enough. So, and of course, he's waiting and trying to get an opportunity to play with his son. JJ Redick is definitely a coach that will draft his son. Right. So, we'll see what happens, man. It could also end in a happy story. Hey, I got to play with my son in the league. That's amazing, by the way. Yeah. But yeah, at the end of the day, I just think they're stuck at a standstill.
Yeah, it's really going to depend more on Rob Pelinka than anybody else. Like you mentioned, and I don't really know what else they can do. It's tough, man, because like you said, everybody is getting better out west. Yeah, it seems like everybody is getting better out west. So, if they would have had a different coach the past 2 years, right? Would they have gotten to the finals? Probably not. Probably not. You know what I mean? Like they got swept last year, like by Denver. Or the year before now, they got swept by Denver, and last year they got one game, right? So, as long as Denver's in a way and constructed the way, because a lot of it is matchups too. I think if the Lakers could have caught some of these young teams in the playoffs this year, but as long as Denver is there, and now we see Minnesota has another year of experience under their belt, and Dallas is going to have more than 5 months to try to integrate their players, new guys. It's just hard to see a pathway for them to get there unless they have a Boston Celtics type of run to where in the playoffs every best player gets hurt. That's the only way I could see it. And I'm a little huge LeBron fan. Sometimes, to a fault, but I just don't see it. As currently constructed, I don't see how they get there.
So could you see LeBron leave the Lakers?
What if LeBron went to Dallas?
I seen that earlier. LeBron to Dallas.
Because Dallas was one of those teams that was looking at drafting Bronny, Mark Cuban. He's always ahead of the curve, right? Was that him trying to entice Bron, or is there something going on we don't know about, or what? But I think that would be interesting, especially because they lost so badly the way they did. Now, if they would have won the championship, absolutely not. Now you're looking at like a Kevin Durant type of situation as far as the team adding the player, right? But with them not winning, I think it does open up a pathway for him to potentially look at that, especially if they're looking at drafting Bronny because he wants to play there anyway with LeBron or Bronny anyway. So I can see it.
How many years is left on his contract?
On Bron? That's a good question. Let me check.
That's definitely interesting, man. Him to the Mavericks, or like I said, potentially come back east somewhere. Or
do you see that? Like, do you think it's a path for him to come back east, and if so, where? Maybe where JB Bickerstaff is leaving or left.
Maybe. I don't think I just can't see him coming to the east, man. I
personally can't either, just because I think he has roots now in LA. I think even if he were to go to Dallas, I don't think he would go to Cleveland or, like you said, back east. I think that's a little bit too far.
Yeah, that's too far.
That's too far. I think LeBron has, let me see, he has, looks like 2 more years in his deal. Yeah, 2 more years. So this coming season and the year after that. And he's got one more season with the Lakers. After that, he's a UFA. So one more season. So after this, I can see it. He wants to play 2 more years, apparently. So maybe he plays one with Bronny and then makes his choice somewhere else, or who knows. But I can see it. I can see him going elsewhere, out west. And I think a lot of it will be contingent on where Bronny goes, for sure.
Yeah, like I said, it's something that we just got to keep a close eye on, man. Yeah. Something we kind of talked about the other night, and it's coming back around again, right?
Okay.
A potential reunion with Andre Drummond.
Mm-hmm.
Andre Drummond, he put something out on Twitter today, and it was very interesting, right? Mm-hmm. So Andre Drummond obviously loves Detroit. Says, I love Detroit. Mm-hmm. Love story that will never die. My home. And plus, he owes me $20, and I need that. Right? I don't care if it was Xbox 360. I need my money.
Go ahead and talk about that real quick. Go ahead and elaborate for everybody who doesn't know.
So listen, man. Why was King such a big Andre Drummond fan? First and foremost, shout out to Dre's family, especially his mom. Dre was the first player that I ever had an opportunity to have a relationship with. We used to play Xbox together. Before I started even doing this, sports YouTube, I was a YouTube gamer. So used to play with Dre all the time, on Xbox. And we kind of built a relationship. So it's why I was so upset when he ended up getting, traded away, and the way he got traded away. So that's why.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know Drum the way King does. But I did get a chance to chop it up with him, and we've been chopping it for every now and then. We talk maybe once a year or something like that. But I got a chance to meet him when he was still here. I don't know if y'all saw that, but when I gave him the handshake, I put a flash drive in his hand with my music on it.
Look at you.
Yeah. And that's how we got a chance to kick. It wasn't the music that you guys hear now, the Pistons. This is before, because this is like 2019, right before he got traded, I think.
Yeah.
And he responded and he was like, bro, I mess with that. I mess with that heavy. And, we got a chance to kind of kick. It was cool. And he got traded. And we still do every now and then. He'll pop, if I post something, he'll DM me something, it's, every now and then pretty randomly. But if he comes back, he got his, Dre, if you're watching, you got your own personal song if you come back.
Yes.
But,
sir.
But I'm with you, bro. Like, he's not happy with his current role with the Bulls, especially with them just moving off of Caruso, right, for Josh Giddey and no picks. I don't know how they didn't get any picks from the Thunder in that deal. All them picks they got, you couldn't get one for Caruso? Or for, like, come on, man. That's crazy to me. But with that happening, I don't blame Drummond for wanting out at this point. And like you mentioned, he obviously still has love for the city. Yeah. Despite fans unnecessarily and unwarranted boos whenever he comes here as if he just left in free agency. Didn't happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think fans boo him because he was put in an impossible situation when he got here. They expected him to be Joel Embiid.
Man.
And he's not, and that's okay, but it's not fair to him. That wasn't fair to him at all. So I'm with you, bro. I wouldn't mind a reunion for many reasons. Some selfish and some basketball.
Yeah, right. Like I said, overall, Dre, good dude. You know what I'm saying? Much more mature now, seen a lot of things in this league.
Right.
Obviously, from a basketball standpoint, want to see him, especially working with guys like Duren and Stewart. You know what I'm saying? You want those guys to practice against somebody like that.
Right.
So they can learn how to get after, especially when it comes to rebounds and being some type of presence in the paint. So you want to see that, and it's for a cheap price, right? So, but like I said, looking at that situation, man, obviously always gonna love the city. If I'm Dre, I'm saying, you know what, I want to go back and make it right. He mentioned that in a podcast, maybe about a year ago.
Yep.
I would love to go make it right if I'm Dre. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to leave no book unclosed. You know what I'm saying? So that would be dope if he was to come back and, play a part in the Pistons, flipping this thing around. Great relationship with Tom Gores, man. Had to understand after all the emotions left, that business is business.
Right.
So with that said,
And I feel like he would be welcomed here too.
Yeah.
I think all will be forgiven, even though there's nothing to forgive him for. I think fans overall would welcome him back. And I think he would play for us. I think he would really play hard for us. He's what I run about Dre, you probably know the same thing. He's a sentimental cat, man. Mm-hmm. He's very sentimental. Like he's very emotional.
Yes.
Not like where he's just lashing out, but he's very emotional. He's really affected by things that people do and say to him. And for him, he remembers things, right? And he's very much reciprocating. He's giving back whatever you give him times 10. That's just his personality. That's how he was raised by his mom, like you talked about. So yeah, go ahead.
Another thing on top of that, like I said, very emotional. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, the thing with Dre is he was put in the worst situation. And the Pistons have been known to do that to several players, put them in bad situations, right?
Yep.
Should have never been marketed as the guy. Always was supposed to be a piece to a winning team.
Exactly.
And you've seen guys like Reggie suffer from that too. Reggie was brought here to be the guy, and it just didn't work out, man.
Yeah, they thought KCP was going to be Anthony Edwards because they both came from Georgia. Like, no, bro.
These are pieces you put together to a championship caliber team.
Exactly.
And that's why you're seeing some of these guys go elsewhere and win. You know what I'm saying? Because other teams understand that. For some reason, the Pistons just could not understand that. And that's why you do all the barking and yelling that I was doing. Like, why are y'all doing this to these dudes?
You're right. The two guys you just mentioned, Reggie and KCP, both won championships with Denver as a piece.
Yeah.
Not as the guy. KCP got one with the Lakers also.
As a piece.
Bruce Brown got one with Denver as a piece. Yep. So to your point, they were put in impossible situations.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. So I'm with it, bro. I'm with it, man. Like at this point, we need a jolt of energy. Anyway, it's been so much bad news we've gotten over the past couple years. It's time for us to get some good news and to get some good energy in this building. Man. Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember your reaction.
Yeah, I was in rare form. Boy, the anger I had, boy, I was pissed.
I think that was the
especially
first time I
for what
saw
we
you like that.
traded him for. I was really angry, bro.
Yeah.
Listen, so true story, right?
Holla at me.
So I'm at work, and it's probably like 1 o'clock in the morning, right? So at this time, my job was 24 hours, and Brandon Knight comes in there with his hood on, tight, like he's trying to be incognito. Now, I so happen to be up front, and I say, "Man, ain't nobody looking for your ass. You can let that damn hoodie loose." I'm so mad, bro. Like you here incognito, like somebody gonna run up to you and say, "Oh man,
Right.
you autograph, man." I ain't looking at you. Get your goofy butt on the bus to get out of here.
For real, bro. What nobody checking for Brandon Knight, bro?
Man, what?
If I thought you was gonna say Brandon Jennings, I was gonna say, oh, okay, oh yeah, okay, that's different. But
Yeah.
Brandon Knight, no shade, but come on, man, he never got over Kyrie.
Man,
He
what?
never got over that play.
Man,
Ever. That's funny.
Brandon Jennings, good times. Brandon Knight, not so much.
Not at all. Somebody asked a question about Brandon Jennings, real quick. Side note. Somebody just said, let me find it. It was like a what if thing with Brandon Jennings. I think it was, here it is. Yeah, I wonder how far we go if Brandon Jennings didn't tear his Achilles. I will say this. We go farther than Reggie Jackson took us.
Yeah.
And that's no shade to Reggie, but Brandon Jennings and Drummond had a different type of connection. You could just see it. The way Drummond would get excited after catching an oop, the way he pushed his head, you know what I mean? Like, or, you know, push him to the side, like, yeah, good stuff. Like, they just had a synergy about him.
Was that Rasheed was on the bench too during that time?
Yes.
Yes.
That was the same year when Jennings hit the game winner off the glass against the Spurs, and yes, yeah,
Man.
that was the incline for me. That was the incline when he got hurt. Man, I was so hurt. I was so.
He had just had a 21 assist game.
Yeah, he had a couple of them.
Yeah,
he had a couple of them. 20 games. 20 games, bro. Man, yeah. So, okay, so I'm gonna get too far, of course, but yeah. So many what ifs, man. So many what ifs. Yeah, exactly, Devin. Exactly. Off the glass, and not underhand either. He was pushing that thing off the glass. He was just throwing it up there. He wasn't.
ESPN every other night.
Every other night, bro. Yeah, remember when we had what was the backup we had? DJ Augustine. We had him for a while when Jennings got hurt before we got Reggie, and it was just that was a bad time. That was a bad time.
It was.
That was some dark days. But yeah, man. So I do hope that we get a shot, or at least that Drummond is considered to come back here. I think it'll be a nice storybook kind of ending for him, depending on how long he wants to play. That's the thing, though. I don't know. I selfishly want him to come back, but I also want him to win a championship. I want him to, or at least have some significant playoff runs.
Right.
He hasn't even really had that, because even when he went to the Lakers and he was a big Penguin, they weren't that good then.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when he was with Philly, they didn't. I think Embiid was hurt and they didn't go anywhere. With Cleveland, they didn't go. You know what I mean? So like Brooklyn, we was in Brooklyn, not Brooklyn, but Cleveland, he didn't go anywhere. So everywhere he went after us has led to nothing really for him.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it would be nice to see him get a shot to play some meaningful basketball in the playoffs.
Yeah, man, I definitely would. Because like I said, he was playing some ball for the Bulls. This past season, he was definitely playing some ball for the Bulls. Man, that'd be nice.
And it was like he was playing. Not that he ever played hero ball, but how many times will we see him in his younger days, his less mature days, when he didn't have too much direction, long enough, right? Because she was there for like 1 year, I think, and that was when he was at his best. But how many times will we see him, instead of completing a DHO, trying to pull a Draymond Green and shooting to the basket, dribbling the ball like he can, you know what I mean, and losing the ball, trying to do too much with the ball. Whenever I see him go like this, I'm like, turnover coming. It would happen. So that was the only thing that would frustrate me with him, is he would try to do too much outside of his scope. But once again, he was being asked to do too much outside of his scope. So it wasn't really his problem. If he had more options and weapons around him, there would be no need. If he had a Cade on the team, it'd be no need for him to ever put the ball on the floor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or even Jaden, go ahead.
Another thing the Pistons do, obviously, they tried to shove him out to the 3-point line. I don't know why we skip the 15 footer so much with the team. We did it then, and we still do it now.
Good point.
I have yet to still see Isaiah Stewart miss a 15-foot jump shot, but he won't shoot them now.
Bro, we sat down I think it was pregame warmups when they were playing that Restoration, by the way, and we watched him shoot about 15 straight middies. I think he made 13 of them, but they were butter. Like, and during the game, we didn't see any of that.
No,
it was wild.
It's 2 points. It counts.
Yeah. He could be very lethal in that area. Yeah. So, yeah, man. And yeah, this was a big part of why too he wasn't the player he could have been.
Andre,
God, you gotta move the ball, Andre. Yeah,
Andre, all game long, bro.
And that's another thing. They were trying to turn him into Dwight Howard.
Yeah,
they were trying to give him a post game
but he ended up frustrating them just like he frustrated Dwight Howard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Stan Van Gundy is the Matt Patricia of coaches. He is, man. He really is. This dude is a annoying little fat meatball.
I feel like he's a better coach than Matt Patricia, though.
Man.
He did take Orlando to the finals. Matt Patricia took who where?
Well, Matt Patricia is a multi-time Super Bowl winning
as a head coach,
defensive coordinator.
As a head coach, I'm talking about
the Patriot way, right?
That's our Belichick and Brady. That's the B&B. That's the Airbnb. Is what I'm gonna call it. Yeah, man. Like, I'll give him more credit than that. You know, he got to the finals. You know, but I do think that once again they were trying to make him into something he wasn't, and it was excruciating to watch. But I mean, that's kind of the situation you're put in when you don't have a GM who knows what they're doing, right? I think Van Gundy was a much better coach than he was a GM, right?
Yeah.
That trade for Blake Griffin, I love Blake Griffin. I love what he did when he was here. But that set us back. That set us back. As far as our flexibility, that set us way back, especially for a team that wasn't going anywhere. We did all that just to get swept again.
Yeah, fans was, man, up and down my timeline and up in the comments, and man, see Blake scored 50, this, that, and the third, and I just kept saying, wait for it, just wait for it.
Yeah.
As soon as we need him, gone.
And even with him, like, we still really didn't have enough. You know what I mean? Like, we still didn't have enough to really contend. We had Reggie. Did we have KCP then? Or was he gone by then? He may have been gone by then.
Might have.
I think he was gone. We had Bruce Brown, right? Yeah. We had Kennard, Luke Kennard. That's who we had. It wasn't Reggie, or it wasn't KCP. So yeah, like we didn't even have the proper team even then with Blake. So just that trade really set us back, big time. So, long story short, I want Drummond to come back, even if it's just more so of a mentoring role than anything. I would like to have him in the gym, you know, bodying up Jalen Duren and Isaiah Stewart, just kind of reinforcing who we are. You know what I mean? Like, cause you know, Dre's a physical guy. He loves that contact. That's why he would always dominate the Karl Anthony Towns of the world. Guys who didn't like contact, because he would play his game and just dominate them. You know?
Dominate them. Yeah, especially when he got snubbed for that All-Star game, boy.
Man, you know what's funny?
Gave Rudy Gobert the business.
You know what's funny? Talking about All-Star snubs. That when I met him, that was right after the voting had ended for All-Star Weekend. And everybody, the Pistons had voted for him, and he got beat out just barely by a coach's vote as a bench role for Vucevic. Nikola Vucevic. And I was like, are you kidding me? So the first thing I said to him when I walked up to him, I said, Vucevic though? That's why he started laughing. Because he was like, are you kidding me, bro? So yeah. I just want to see him back here, bro. I feel like he, especially now that he's mature and he's older and he's more settled in, he's a father now. You know what I mean? I think he could bring some maturity, as weird as that sounds. He can bring some maturity to this young team. So that's my thought.
Yeah. I'm right there with you, man. So
yeah, man. So that's all we got. We didn't have a long show for y'all tonight. Did y'all have anything else y'all wanted to cover? And I'm seeing some coaches here, some different coaches here and things like that. But yeah, man, at the end of the day, I'm just really happy. That's what we wanted. I wanted to get to that too. I'm glad you said that. Press conference now. So I'm gonna let you lead off.
Listen, man. Before we even get into that, Trajan Langdon.
Yep.
took his time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And obviously the mindset most likely is to I want to get some things done before I come out here and speak to the media. I can respect that. There's no rush just because the media moans and groans and the fan moans and groans. Listen, we're on it's a way to say we're on my time now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm taking leadership.
Right.
You know, so I'm not going to come out here and give you a feel good story. I'm not going to come out here to the press conference and tell you the money is what made me come. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, man, I respect that to the fullest. You know what I'm saying? Take your time, bro. Take your
Bro.
time. Get some things done. You come out here when you're ready to address us because we've been
Yeah.
in the darkness for the last 2-3 years.
100%. I mean, he could have gave the greatest cover story tomorrow, but if he would have been terrible as a president and a GM, nobody would have cared about what he said.
Mm-hmm.
So take your time.
Mm-hmm.
Us as fans and beat reporters and everybody, we'll be fine, and we will not care about how long your press conference took if we come out the gate playing well next season, or at least have an identity next season, or look significantly better this season.
Mm-hmm.
All we forgiven about how long the press conference took. Will nobody care? You know? So take your time, for sure. But I am very interested to hear what he has to say.
And what time is that for the people listening?
3:30 p.m. tomorrow, Eastern Standard.
Mm-hmm.
So we are definitely going to check. Yeah, he is in a great position. He's in a very favorable position because the only way we can't be worse unless we have a 30-game losing streak next year and only win 13 games. I mean, that's literally the only way we can be worse next year. So he's in a great position for himself. But also, I do think that he is going to make significant changes and adjustments that are going to help our team in a big way. He's showing he's about business. He's not afraid to make the big move. He doesn't care about what anybody thinks. And it appears that, at least from my side of the fence, from our side of the fence, that he at least has a respect of Tom Gores to where it's like, look, this is what I'm doing. I need you to stay over there. You know what I mean? And to Tom Gores' credit, he did give him he did give him a long leash, and he gave him the authority to be able. He said to him, according to James Edwards, he said, if you need to eat any cap space, if you need to eat any contracts, you can do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Read between the lines as to what that means.
Yep.
But I do like that he has the flexibility now to make these moves, and now he's starting right away from the top.
Yeah.
So we'll see what comes of it.
So I just want to answer those two comments that I put on the screen. Listen, stop listening to Mike Valenti. Mike Valenti,
come on, man, really?
97.1. I was listening to the same show today, and they're basically painting that scenario like Cade is going to leave down the line after the extension, right? That's going to take another 5 years for the Pistons to be competing in the playoffs. Listen,
Surprise.
The Pistons are in a great situation with a lot of cap space, and they have a couple of assets they can use to accelerate this thing if they want to. Depends on what they decide to do. Listen, you got to give Cade the extension.
Absolutely.
You got to give Cade the extension. That's not even a question.
Mm-mm.
What he's going to do 3 to 5 years down the line, what are we even talking about right now?
Right.
We're more concerned about now and getting the ship on the right track. So let's do that first,
Exactly,
and determine what could happen in the future.
Right.
Mike Valenti is a Celtics fan. He doesn't want to see he truly does not want the Pistons to be successful. This is the same man that told you we should go and get Ben Simmons.
Right.
That we should sell the house to get Ben Simmons.
Right.
Of course he would love to see that because we'll never be able to touch his Celtics.
Exactly.
Stop listening
Great point.
to 97.1 The Ticket.
Yeah.
They are motivated and driven just to get ratings. That's what it is.
It's some ulterior motives going there, for sure.
Yeah.
It's some agendas going over there, for sure. And I'm going to just leave it at that. That's, yeah. If you're looking for real, well, I ain't going to do that. Yeah.
Definitely had to, I mean, listen, left you in a good position if you trade in Langdon. Yeah. You know, like I said, the money that we have, he's the reason why it's there. Even though we've tanked and the lottery didn't turn out our way, because we're having a different conversation in general about Troy Weaver.
Point.
If the NBA didn't decide to screw us over consistently, if
That's a good point.
his own front office, his heads didn't get in the way when he wanted to hire a younger coach.
And
You see what I'm saying?
player.
So yeah,
a different player. I'm just saying.
so that's just what it is.
I want to see what your thoughts are on this.
I just really don't want to trade Ivy.
For me, it's a no-brainer. I'm not doing that at all. Ivy
Not for somebody
Thompson,
that can't stay healthy though. Like,
yeah. And
for what he's gonna cost.
Asar Thompson is a rookie, bro.
And then even with Cade and Ivy, they a lot still catching flack now from the fans because they listen to these media personalities. Bro, listen, they just had a coach that didn't give a damn about this team.
Yeah.
Like, are we just gonna gloss over that? You know what I'm saying? Can we get a good coach in here? Some good leadership, some good veterans. Can we get that in here?
Yeah, bro. It was. I'm not trying to I'm not blaming any one person for how bad we were last year. When you're that bad, it's got to be a collective effort. One person can't do all of that, right? But I'm looking at the things that happened with Monty Williams, bro. The things that were said versus the things that happened. Did we ever see the 0.5 offense?
Not once. I said that all season.
You said that all season long.
Where
is this offense? Where is it? He also said that he was looking to cut down the rotation. And then in one quarter, he plays 11 guys.
Yeah.
Like, it was so many contradicting things. Jaden Ivey not start. Like, it was so many things that just was a recipe for disaster. It felt like a lot of it was just lip service. I'm never going to say anybody was trying to get fired. But come on, man. Some of the things that he was doing and saying, even when compared to how he would handle his teams in Phoenix, I know it's a different team. Mm-hmm. But even the way he was moving was just different. It was very lackadaisical, very nonchalant. The only time I saw him really get upset was when we got screwed over in that New York game, when Asar got tackled and they didn't call anything. That was the only time I saw him show some real emotion. And that was very when we're trying that hard to get wins, you got to try something different, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just consistently was just so relaxed and laid back, and I think he lost the locker room, bro. I really do.
Man, if I had a GM that didn't want me on the team in the first place, then maybe I might try to get him to lose his job. That's just a conspiracy, though. Anyway,
conspiracies have returned, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm just saying, even with this situation here, and Killian, so with the Killian out the league thing, Killian elected to take the entire summer to work on his game. That is according to his father.
Right.
He was in France to work on his game. He elected not to go sign with team. He had 7 teams that were interested, good Lord, at the time, but he wanted to get himself prepared because he had already spoke with France, and obviously we see what's going on with France right now.
Right.
So
that's
that situation.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Yeah, the conspiracies are real.
Yeah, no, they're definitely it's definitely some smoke there for sure. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, I'm glad that we've moved on. You know, there's so many things now too in retrospect that happened. Like, for example, the money statement. That now that we have moved on, I can be honest with myself about it instead of just trying to be optimistic. Mm-hmm. At the time, I was like, man, that's weird. Initial reaction is like, that's weird, but maybe he's just very honest. Maybe he's just doing something different. Maybe he's got a different approach. Mm-hmm. But now I'm like, bro, no, no. What does your instincts tell you? That's weird. I never in my life ever heard a coach say the reason they took a job is because of the money. I've never, ever heard a coach, a professional coach, NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, whatever. I've never heard anybody say that before.
It's wild, bro.
So it's just crazy to think about in retrospect, bro. That's insane. And then to follow that up with the worst record in the league.
Rubbed me so wrong after that press conference, bro.
Bro,
I watched that press conference 3 times, Deuce.
Really?
Yes. 3 times I watched that press conference. Like, bro, this man really didn't. Not only to look at Troy's reaction in his face the whole time. But at the same time, this man, you can tell this man about to come get a payday off of us.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, you have some tragic happen to your family, and then some fool comes along offering you all this money. You taking it.
Like
Stephen A. Smith just said the other day that he should be thankful that Detroit is letting him go, because now they still got to pay you.
Yeah, he's talking about from Monty's perspective. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
trying to talk bad about us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom Gores though, what is going through your mind when you throw him a bag and he says no, and you throw him a bigger bag and he says yes? What are you thinking? Like, what do you think that means?
Tom Gores is too concerned with what the fans think. That's what I think Tom Gores' problem is.
See,
because everybody was like, "Hey, Monty Williams, you gotta go get Monty Williams. You know, you gotta spend the money. You gotta do this and do that and everything else." And you know, he did that, right?
I feel you on that, but I don't even know if it's that, because when the fans were upset about the team and he was talking about, oh, don't overreact. You know, we're in the community. Things are going great. Don't get too. He didn't seem to carry it in. You know what I mean? So I can't even give him that, bro. I think it was just really just being honest. It just felt like incompetency, honestly. And that's fine if you're owner. Let everybody else do it. You don't have to be a GM. Let your guys do the job.
This is not even a realistic comment. A person that really doesn't care about the fan base, or that doesn't care at all, is not spending an amount of money that Tom Gores is spending. Ask the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions are that story. They didn't want to spend the money back then because they didn't give a shit about the fans.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
That's a good point.
There's no way you're going to bite a contract like that, but at the same time, you offer him that contract in the first place, and you continuously telling leadership, if you got to, you know, if I got to pay a luxury here and there, I'll do it. So, I mean, you have to kind of care about the fans.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man. I keep seeing I keep seeing this name. I keep seeing this. Klay Thompson. I love Klay as a player. He not coming here.
That's the most Detroit thing that we can do, man. We always do that. No, it's Klay Thompson of old is gone. We got to stop getting players when they're gone already, bro.
Yeah.
He's gone.
Yeah. Not saying he's a terrible player, but Blake Griffin wasn't a terrible player when he came here. But he wasn't nearly the player he was when he was with LA.
Yeah. When the trajectory is no longer going up and it's starting to go downward, that's when we want to get people.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind a type of player, like we always talk about Devin Booker and stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Devin Booker is much, much younger. He's not injury prone. He hasn't had any major injuries. It's just a different story. I understand the prototype that they're saying when it comes to Klay Thompson, but the actual player, where he is in his career now, he wouldn't come here anyway, man. He's not. Everybody right now is picking on us. Everybody is saying, yeah, you got Stephen A. saying, yeah, Monty Williams got on his knees and thanked the Lord for them firing him. You know what I mean? Everybody's taking shots like cowards when the team is down. So I just don't see Klay Thompson leaving the only team he's been on that he was drafted by, where he won 4 chips, where he's going to be remembered. I think he may think that might tarnish his legacy just by coming here.
Don't come here, brother. Go to Dallas.
Go to Dallas, go to LA, go somewhere else where you can at least be, playoff bound. But yeah, that prototype of player for sure. Absolutely. But Klay himself, not right now. Not at this. If this is 2017 or something like that, before his injury in 2019, before that ACL tear and all that stuff, yeah, that's different. So that's just my take on that. But last thing I want to ask you, has your opinion changed about anybody in this draft? Or are you pretty much set on who you believe the Pistons might go with? I know we talked about a couple guys last stream.
Interesting you brought that up, right? Because when you look at the coaching search, and according to some sources,
right,
and you look at who's in the lead as far as that goes, attached to Earn Teller. And then you got a player that's attached to his son.
Yep.
I don't even want to get my hopes up. You know what I'm saying? I like Cody.
Okay.
I do like Cody for what he brings. He's a
Right.
need, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
We can't get the big that we wanted, that we tanked for.
Right.
But I like Cody. I really do. I've been watching some film on him too. Cody is definitely a player that we could, especially at that position of need, that he can shoot the ball, lengthy, athletic.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
That's funny. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, but I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that either.
I don't want Matis, bro. I really Matis is not ready for the league, if you ask me.
I'm
After
not
watching
mad at
him,
him. I just so what is our biggest need right now?
front court players that can
And
stretch the floor,
right, that right. And
that
you
can
need
play
go
some
ahead, go ahead.
defense.
Yeah, yes. Defense and shooting. He does provide defense. I think he can provide defense at the NBA level once he gets stronger and things like that. I like his build, but he can't shoot the ball. We already have a guy that I just described on our team just like that
Yep.
at the same position.
Yep.
So give me Asar over Matas now and
Yeah.
long term. I think he's a better player. I don't think it's really close at right now. But I think his ceiling is much higher than Matas. So I don't want to repeat of a guy who can't shoot.
Right.
Let's work on the guys we have now that can't shoot before we even get to anything else about adding guys who can't shoot the basketball. So Matas doesn't really excite me. I'm still with Devin, man. I still want to trade this pick. I still want to trade it. I don't know what for. I know we talked about Brandon Ingram. I don't know, man. Because I'm looking at our offense too, right? Like who? I guess we'll know more. So, what kind of team are we going to be? Are we going to be a team that pushes the ball?
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to be a team that likes to play more in the half court? Right? Are we going to be a mix of both? Because it can go either way based off our current backcourt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We got a guy who's great in the half court. K can push the ball too, though. Especially in his rookie season, he pushed the ball fairly well in the fast break. So I don't know, man. I don't know about Ingram because I don't know if he's going to allow us to get enough easy buckets. I always talked about the pairing of Asar and Jaden Ivey on the break and how that it could be a nightmare for defenses. Right? The two of them, we saw it often, or in flashes here and there. The two of them, their speed. I feel like those are two of the fastest players in the NBA on our team. And them on the break is easy. It's easy money. It's easy buckets, easy points. So I don't know if that's going to be our identity. Is it going to be more with the half court with Cade and Dirt and JD, mixed of both? So it's hard for me to even really say right now because we don't even know what we're going to look like on the court yet. We don't have our coach yet. So it's tough. It's tough for me.
Trade the pick.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Bro. I say at 5, it's like what are you going to get at 5? You know what I'm saying? Just don't do nothing stupid.
Yeah.
Don't go out and trade for somebody that's probably going to play 45 to 55 games for you and give up the house for them.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But at the same time, certain names that I've been hearing for the last 2 days are frightening. Obi Toppin is one of them. Wow. Obi Toppin. Listen.
You know what?
No, not for,
that for a second.
Not for the money you won't.
Right. Well, how much is he asking for? Like 20 plus, 25?
So yeah, it's 20 plus. It's 20.
No, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. Whether Obi Toppin is a guy that's, he's probably looking for a team to say, hey, I just want to prove to the league that I'm a better player than, that guy State.
Right. I'm not just a dunk contest guy.
Yeah, right. The New York Knicks didn't utilize me. I want to prove something. I'm not looking for proven players right now.
Gotcha.
We've been getting proven players for the last 4 years, right? On much cheaper tags.
True.
So, like I said, guys like Obi Toppin, that scares me.
I just think about his fit next to Duren. It could be fun. Obi, he can shoot the ball a little bit. He can shoot the ball pretty well.
Yeah, and development is another thing too.
Yeah.
So yeah, he can definitely develop. He's definitely not done yet.
Man, him and Duren
But
could be nice. Not that I'm thinking about it, bro. You're right. That is too much money for me. But I'm thinking just fit. I'm thinking in fantasy land, like just fit, inside, outside.
it's a
Both
lot
those
of
guys are
athletic,
very rangy, long, athletic.
lots of
And both of
athleticism.
them can guard in the perimeter fairly well. You can switch
Listen,
everything. Like,
Duren,
that would be nice, man. Now that I
that's why
think about it. Go ahead.
that's why our coaching selection is going to be very important because
Yeah.
Duren on defense is right now at about 65%.
I don't
He's
even
not
think
at
that
100%
much.
yet.
I don't even think
Yeah,
that much.
because I see so many opportunities on defense
Yeah.
for him. So that whoever the coach is, when you walk in the door, you got to be like, "Hey, bro, I need you to be just as athletic on the defensive side of the basketball."
Yeah. And honestly, bro, I feel like it's from talking to people, I feel like it's more about effort with JD than it is
Yeah,
about
it
IQ
is. It
with
is.
JD. Because I
It is.
see him on certain plays making the right read defensively. I see him talking on certain plays. I see him
Mhm.
more engaged. I see him being disciplined, staying down,
Yeah.
like rotating, like everything.
Yeah.
And then other times I see him just like
Conditioning
just
too.
going through the conditioning too, right? That's a good point. So I think bro, he was coached by Rasheed at Memphis. He was coached by Larry Brown at Memphis. He was coached by Penny Hardaway at Memphis. Like
Right.
he's been coached. He
Right.
knows what he's doing. It's just a matter of staying engaged now. I mean, it's maturity too, because you can't let your record affect what you're doing about. You can't allow that. You still got to give 100%, right? As a mature player, this is your job, your profession. You show up to work, right? So I think that's a part of it too. I don't think there was enough demand around him, enough people around him demanding that for
Hey,
him every
Duren,
game.
if you see this, I need you to go meet up with KG. Call KG
Ooh, yeah,
and
man.
go work on your conditioning over summer with KG.
Absolutely.
Let him put you on that beach a couple of times. Even Drummond did it. Even
Bro,
Drummond did it. You know what I'm saying? They had a little TV series about it. Go get with KG, man. Let him show you how to get yourself conditioned and ready for the season.
bro, that's 100%. He was getting up at 5 in the morning, running on the beach every single morning, Saturdays and Sundays, every single day, all like in the off season. So yeah, 100%. You know what's interesting? When I watch him, do you know who I see even more than KG at his peak? A
Oh,
lot of Pistons fans probably won't like this. Jermaine O'Neal.
hmm.
That's who I see. That's who I see. Mid-range money, great defender. He learned at Portland. Jermaine O'Neal looks a lot like Jalen Duren right now. When he was at Portland, when She was there, when Dale Davis was there, when Brian Grant was there, when Sabonis was there, Arvydas Sabonis Sr. was there, like, and he was just like buried on the bench, getting like, getting into the game, Darko Milicic minutes, human victory cigar minutes. Like, I saw then this dude can play, but it was just so many guys. And when he went to Indiana with Rick Carlisle, took off. So I think that can be a type of player, a prototype for Jalen Duren, man. Somebody who's gonna give you buckets, great post game, and like I said, man, O'Neal was not always polished like how he was in his prime. He was nowhere near, but you saw the raw ability. That's why I really have a lot. I'm really high on Jay. That's why I'm not a big Nick Claxton guy right now. Nothing against him, but when you have Jalen Duren with that ceiling, I'm not paying another guy who hasn't even been an All-Star yet $25 million to stunt Jalen Duren's growth.
First of all, not even just been an all-star yet. This man ain't even been a full-time rotational guy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I like Claxton, but not for what he finna ask for. No, I don't.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Right.
I just no.
Yeah. I feel you.
Like you crack a starting lineup for a full season first.
Yeah.
Before you start walking around asking for money.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like, I feel like that the money can be much better spent elsewhere. And that's I'm just really high on JD, bro. I really think he can be a really good play, man. What is he, 21, 22? Yeah,
He ain't even that.
Not even, is he 20? He can't even drink yet. He's 20.
He's just 20.
He's 20. You're right. He's 20.
20.
And that dude is huge in person, man.
Yeah.
That's
like I said, the
a big
physical
dude,
is
man.
there. He just got to get the conditioning.
Yeah. Already got the body of a 30-year-old. Like all the tools are there. What about Amari Stoudemire? That's an interesting comp.
I think he'd be better. I think he could be
yeah.
better than Amari Stoudemire.
Me too.
That's a lot to say though. Amari Stoudemire was in his heyday was a dog.
You know what? Defensively, for sure, he can be better.
Yeah, he was.
Offensively, though, when Amari was in Phoenix, obviously with Nash, but when he was able to spread his wings a little bit more, when he went to New York before Carmelo was really settled in there, that little window, he was looking like a top 7-8 player in the league, bro. Maybe in top 5. So. Yeah, I like that comp. I think he definitely has the skills and the abilities for that. But yeah, for sure,
he definitely could, man. Like I said, you put the right pieces around him. Good coach. I think that definitely could.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. So I'm looking forward to. Let me see what this says. Sasser, Thompson, Duren, Cunningham should be the core. Nah. I gotta disagree with that.
No. Sasser is going to be where he at right now. Listen, the most you're going to get more out of Sasser is, I would say, consistent shooting. Sasser will never be able to defend nobody in this league.
It's going to be tough for him.
Yes. He will never be able to consistently defend somebody in this league. Nah, bro. I think the Pistons need to add some veteran leadership when it comes to backup point guard.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think we need to do when it comes.
Because Sasser isn't even a point guard.
No, he's not.
He's not a point guard.
He's a weapon. He's not a guy that's going to run your offense for you.
Look, if he was 6'4", 6'5", it wouldn't be a question as to what he played. It's just because he's shorter on the shorter side that he just kind of gets pushed into that spot. Yeah. You know what I mean? But his game is not that of a point. He's not orchestrating. Listen, not right now. Not orchestrating the offense. He's looking for his offense.
You know, when he comes in the game, the coach has to tell him, a competent coach, unlike Williams, has to tell him, go in the game and score. Shoot the damn ball.
Right.
What we had him doing was an absolute farce. Go out there and be who you are and shoot the ball, bro. Like, he was hesitating to shoot the ball at time.
Mm-hmm.
This is what you are. You're a weapon. Go be a weapon.
And I get it. He's a rookie.
Yeah.
Trying to find his way, you know. But like you said, the development just wasn't there. The coaching just wasn't there, man. A few more I want to get to, y'all, and then we can call it a night. How do you feel about these, King? Malcolm Brogdon, Tyus Jones.
Bro, I'm done with I'm done with the guard game right now.
That's what I was about to say.
I'm done with that right now. That is the least thing on my mind right now. If we go and get a guard, I want a different type of veteran, not some of them dudes you name it.
Right.
Simple and plain. I'm done with the guard game.
Get
my front court. I'm tired of people attacking the damn basket against us. Go and get me some front court players that's going to help defend especially when Duren sits down.
Mm-hmm.
I love Stu. Stu's not athletic enough to deal with a lot of the situation that we have.
Right.
So go and fix the front court. Go and give me a wing player that can actually, defend, but at the same time, put the ball in the basket. You know what I'm saying? Shoot the ball. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm looking for. We've been playing the guard game for the last 2 or 3 years, bro. I'm done with that right now.
So I saw this about Isaiah in reference to Sasser. Isaiah Thomas wasn't big. Tell that to him, bro. I feel you, Coyote. Shout out to you.
Different era.
But you got to keep in mind, there was a different era. Point guards were not nearly as big then as they are now. And along with that, we don't have a Joe Dumars defensively.
It ain't even just that.
To put on their best play. You see what I'm saying? Like
Giselle, Lindsey Hunter, Mike James, all them little shorter guys, they can put their hands on you back then. You can't do that now.
You can't guard the same way. Yeah. That's what makes it tough. When you have that's tough.
And plus the league alone wasn't big as it is now at guard. We have huge guards in this league now.
Yep. The game is getting bigger. Pause. Yeah, man. What's up, Rise Above? What's going on, brother?
What's going on, bro?
Yeah, how do you feel about Marcus Smart?
Man, I'll never say no to Marcus Smart.
Right.
For what he bring to your team and the locker room and to the beach. What?
Yeah.
I thought the player that we did have could turn into a Marcus Smart.
Who's
to
that?
Be honest, the one we just let go last season. Number 7.
Oh, Kill.
Yeah, I thought he could defensively turn into Marcus Smart. I would never say no to that type of player.
I can see that. Yeah, defensively, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah, the grid is there. Yeah, for sure. 100%. Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that. Yeah. Yeah. So that's yeah. Man, I
That's
really
what it
thought.
is.
Yeah, it is what it is. All right, bro. I think that's about it for me, man. I think we got to everything. Appreciate y'all showing up and showing out. Don't forget tomorrow, 3:30 p.m. We will be waiting to hear from both Tom Gores and Trajan Langdon. And I am really looking. I don't know who I'm looking forward to hearing from more. And the only reason I say that is because I definitely want to hear what Trajan has to say as far as his vision for this team, because then we'll all know what we're gonna do, what's going on with the team, right? But I really want to see if Tom Gores is going to address the elephant in the room as far as him being the guy that wanted Monty, and then him being the guy that also cut Monty. If that was a big part in wanting him to move on. I want to see if he's going to address that, because we talked about it. His decision making, even though he hasn't said it, it's him basically saying, "My bad, y'all. I messed up. I messed up. I was responsible for making this hire, or for strong arming our previous GM for this hire, because this is who I wanted. He wanted Kevin Ollie. We all know that. So I wanted him. I pushed for him. I was very determined to get him here. And then 1 year later, I'm eating that money and I am cutting him. So, like, that's his way of saying, my bad. I messed up. So I want to see if he's going to address that tomorrow.
Yeah. This is definitely, it's going to be a lot of eyes on this press conference. I can't wait to talk about it afterwards. Listen, if you're not on Twitter, download it. Download it. I don't care if you don't follow anybody else, but follow us on Twitter.
For sure.
And follow some of the people that we follow. A lot of news, a lot of updates, but I tweet a lot of stuff out, man. So if you guys are not following me on Twitter, you're missing out. Mm-hmm. That's where I live, on Twitter. Yep. Also on Instagram, a lot of great posts, especially if you're a Pistons fan. Mm-hmm. Make sure you're following Deuce on Instagram, also myself. So yeah, those social media, those two, social media outlets is where we are the most. Yep. If you guys want to keep up with us, man, that's where we are. Yep. And also, we'll look forward from hearing to y'all.
Yeah, I got some new music coming for y'all next season too on the Pistons tip. Y'all already know about Destination Restoration, and you know about Baton, which King was featured in the music video. Shout out to you, bro.
Shout out to
you. Whatever. I got 2 new songs coming this season. So hopefully y'all rock with these. A little bit different style. I'm trying to give a little bit something different for everybody, right? Destination Restoration was more of like a pop hip hop joint. Baton had a little bit more of a soulful type of feel to it with some more rock in there. So now we're gonna have a little bit of, some dubstep EDM type of vibes. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna switch it up a little bit, and more hip hop for sure. So that's pretty much the foundation of the city musically. Unless you're talking about the old school days with R&B. So, yeah, man. So we definitely got some music coming for y'all. Appreciate y'all support as always, man. And yeah. As always, thanks for showing up and showing out, y'all. We appreciate y'all, man.
Yep.
So until next Tuesday, or until something breaking happens, if Trajan says something crazy like he came for the money or something like that. Outside of that, you guys will see us next Tuesday. But you can also see us on Twitter and Instagram and everywhere else you can follow us. So. Appreciate y'all as always, and Detroit versus everybody. Peace.